Hey everyone, this is Philip Anthony, and welcome to Millionaire College Planner, the place to turn your business into a seven-figure college planning office. I'm so excited to host this short video because we're going to talk about Covert Persuasion 101. And for those of you who know my training and you know my mindset, when I think of persuasion, there's three building blocks that we want to build off of. Number one, it's understanding how to control the prospect's mind. Number two, it's understanding the psychology behind what motivates a prospect to a yes decision. And number three, it's about how to obtain rapport quickly. So as we think about persuasion, there's going to be some fundamental strategies that are going to be highly effective in getting a prospect to say yes. And the first one that we're going to talk about today is something called asking questions. Now, asking questions is a very valuable tool that you can use because asking questions is your way to elicit values out of the prospect. In other words, values and what we hold as true for ourselves is the guiding navigation system behind how people make decisions. Mercedes, BMW, Volvo, Audi, Toyota, all these companies succeed in a competitive marketplace because they've been able to attach themselves to a particular value: luxury, speed, being able to save money, right? All these values are important to different kinds of people, and they succeed by speaking to one or the other. So when you're going into a consultation, your first objective is to isolate and understand the psychology behind what drives your prospect. What are their values? For some families, their values are going to be saving time in the process, to be anxiety free, to be able to not have to deal with the financial aid process. So when I'm persuading that prospect, I might say the benefit of hiring me is that when you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep at night, your son has a college planning professional in their corner that will, bottom line, get the process taken care of so that you can sleep at night and know that your college planning problem has been fixed. Now, in contrast to that, another prospect's value system may not be anxiety free. Their value system might be expertise to work in conjunction with their helicopter parenting style, right? So the way you want to sell that person is you want to say, look, my job isn't to replace you. My job isn't to do what you can do for yourself because you're the kind of parent that will succeed no matter what, right? Because you're a helicopter parent. Well, don't say that part. But my role is to complement what you're going to do. It's to facilitate the process. It's to act as a catalyst to reinforce the comprehensive guidance that you're already giving your own kids. And in doing so, to give them even better decision-making capability and the best result possible. So I sold the same exact service, but I changed my communication and my approach to match the values. Okay, let's move on to the second technique: power words. Understanding power words is very important. Remember this: words create thought. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions create states. States create action. And you need an action to get money. Therefore, words create money. What are the powerful words that you can use? The first one is the parent's name. The second one is the student's name. The third one is the top college of the student. And then the fourth one is the word because. So let's go through each one very quickly. The reason why the parents and the student's name is important is because it helps create rapport instantly. So instead of saying, you know, your son is a good student, you say, Michael's a good student, John. And hey, Susan, I really liked how you did this. And by the way, your daughter Tiffany is also a great student. I would love to talk to her more after I help your son. So, and then again, you use the son's name. So you use the whole family's name, because by using their names, you start to create an affinity with the prospects that are necessary to overcome the primary objective primer, which is the objection of trust itself. Now, the word because is also important. And the reason why it's because the word because has a subconscious tone attached to it. Ever since we were young, our parents have said you can't go out because you're too young. You can't go on this date because you're not old enough. You can't get a cell phone yet because you're not old enough. So the word because has been anchored to a authoritative tone. In other words, it carries with it compliance. And so what you say after the word because is less important than just using the word because. So you might say, the reason why you need to hire me is because I am the #1 expert in college planning. Well, saying that you're the #1 expert may not be important, but but because you said the word because, it just became more influential, right? Another example of how you can use the word because is you can say, I would love to work with you, but I need to make sure that you are on the right mindset with me, that you believe in the value of what we're doing here in college planning, because when I work with the family, I'm about bottom line creating results, right? So the word because just created two very persuasive reasons why that prospect would want to work with you. Okay, and then our last persuasion technique here is also using the words might and using the words maybe. And the reason why the words might and the words maybe are helpful is because it gives the prospect a way to say no. The #1 reason why sales professionals and prospects don't like sales, salespeople hate selling, prospects hate being sold to, is because there's always this implicit feeling that you have to say yes to that salesperson. When you go into a car dealership, they immediately inject you into a sales process, sitting you down, having the Coke, talking about numbers when you may just be interested in getting general information. So when I start my persuasive consultations, the very first thing that I'll do is I'll say, all right guys, I'm so excited that you made it here into my office, and before we get started, my services might be valuable for you. They maybe will help you, or they might not help you. But what is more important than whether or not I can help you is the question of how to help yourself succeed through the process. With that being said, let's get into the 3 pillars in the college planning process. I immediately disarm the prospect's barriers by giving them permission to say no. And then as I get into my close, I'll say, I won't say, you need to hire me because here are all the reasons why I'm great. I'm going to say, this might be a good service for you. This maybe will help you through the process. Hiring me might be the opportunity to help your kid, or it might not be. I'll let you make the decision. So in conclusion, think of sales as a river where you're on one side, the prospect's on the other. And if you try to force your prospect to jump across the river, they're just going to fall in and they're going to get whiffed away into the ocean. In contrast, think of sales as basically you taking little pebbles and putting them across the river. And every pebble is a baby step. Using their names, clarifying their values, building rapport. And as you accomplish one after the other, after the other, and after the other, you'll build enough stones to where they walk themselves across the river and towards you. And so the essence of persuasion is fundamentally about your ability to create the necessary stories and analogies and building pain and creating value in the prospect's mind and controlling their focus to where they come to you and come to the inevitable conclusion that the best decision possible is hiring you, paying your fees, and doing it enthusiastically. With that being said, let's get to those consultations. Let's make some money. And if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for the free Millionaire College Planner Blueprint, and let's get to work.